After finishing university, the next thing was, of course, get a job. And so I literally tarmacked, walking. I walked the streets of Nairobi looking for a job, with your CV. Remember the days of brown envelopes, and walked all over the streets of Kiambu. You guys, I really walked looking for a job. And after doing that for a while, I, I didn't get any. So started doing a course. Later on, I get a phone call that there's a school in the middle of, Wasingishu County that needs a teacher. And you guys, if you watch my Getting to Know Me video, I come from Mombasa. And I was like, who is going to go all the way? But I was like, you know what? I've been in boarding. I've studied in, schools that are far from home. I can't do this. So I went. It was quite an adjustment. And what happened next was I got this house, a very tiny house to stay in. But I told myself I'm not buying anything in that house. I did not buy any furniture. Literally, I only bought a mattress to put on the floor to sleep, because I told myself this is not a place I want to stay. And I got the teacher who was, my supervisor, gave me a small cooking stove, and I think that's it. Yeah. So, I had gone with a bucket. So I had a bucket, the one I was using in campus, and I had my mattress, right? So, in fact, I have a whole other story about that. But anyway, let's focus on the topic. Yeah. So I was there for slightly over a year without furniture. Let me tell you, no television, no nothing. The landlord had actually given me a table and a chair. So I had that, but I never bought anything. So I was there. I get this other call. Remember the time I was telling you I was tammacking all over Nairobi? One of the schools kept my CV, and they called me later. A year later actually, to just tell me that, we saw this, we'd like to invite you for an interview, blah blah blah. So I got the job. And this is just to show you just different ways in which you can be in a comfort zone. Because the moment you allow yourself to stay in a particular situation and be comfortable, then you won't really grow. And the most recent example I can give you from myself is after gaining weight. You guys, you know how motherhood comes with weight gain. I decided I'm not changing my wardrobe to fit my new weight. I was like, no, I will have to lose this weight. And so I made sure I was keeping my old clothes. So if you watched my decluttering video, that's why I had to just reduce, because I had so much from the past, and I was so glad to have kept that and not stayed in my comfort zone and say, no, this is my new weight, let me accept it, and then have all these other health issues coming in and so on and so forth. Getting out of my comfort zone has really proved to be a huge and a very beneficial experience for me. And this is what our topic is all about. I would like to inspire somebody to get out of their comfort zone. So, hello people, this is Zippy and welcome to my classroom. I've seen we have new subscribers. Please welcome. Remember to like, share, and leave a comment. Please, actually, leave a comment. Let me know how you're finding our content, or just say hi. Just literally just say hi. I'd love to engage with you and get to know who my audience is. So, how do you know that you're in a comfort zone? Very easy. You have so much fear of trying out new things. Every time someone tells you, let's go to this place, or let's join this activity, you are mortified, literally. So that is one way to know that you're really in a comfort zone. You prefer, this cocoon you've put yourself in. Another way is you give excuses a lot of why you're not making progress. Like, oh, okay, so you're still at, okay, yeah, it's because you've not done this. Yeah, it's because you have excuses, so many of them. That's another way for you to know that you are in a comfort zone. Another way is your days look the same. Literally, from January to December, your days look the same. You wake up at the same time, you go to the same place, you do the same things, you come home there, you go to bed at the same time. Yeah, routine has its own benefits, but the moment it gets to a point now you're basically on autopilot, then you're in a comfort zone and you'll get bored very soon. Another way is you're seeing no progress in your personal or in your professional life. Where you were 5 years ago is where you are at the moment. Nothing has changed, in anything you're doing. It's literally the same. You're literally the same person, just getting older. And the fifth way for you to know that you're in your comfort zone is that you keep comparing to past successes. Keep saying, yeah, I used to do this, or I was here, I went, I did, but you keep dwelling on the past. What are you currently doing? Because you keep using that as your benchmark, but you're not moving forward because now you're very comfortable. Those days you used to do whatever it took you to get out of your comfort zone, but now you're not moving. And there's this quote of, don't dwell on your past because it steals from your future. So you're stealing from your future when you keep comparing to those successes. And this is where now I talk to parents and teachers. We have a big role to play. I was listening to Dr. Jordan Peterson, and he was talking about how mothers, we're very nurturing. We are there for our kids. Our work is to protect them and to make sure they are fine until they reach a certain point where you have to now let them go. Literally the way birds do. So when the birds want their nestlings to literally leave the nest, they have to drop the nest if they're able to fly. That's literally what, as a mother, you're supposed to do. But and that's why he talks about how fathers are the ones who give children independence. It's fathers who are the ones who tell the children, you go out, do this. And if you look at probably how you've been brought up and from other people's stories, you'll see that the mother is the one who usually says, no, don't do this, don't go here, don't do that. They're the disciplinarians, you cannot do this. Yeah, but the fathers are more liberal, like, yeah, you go, you will learn a lesson at the end of it. That's the balance. And that is why it's very crucial to have those two figures in when it comes to raising a child. And same thing, it happened to me, especially when telling you the story of me going to a different place to work when I was still young. It was my mom who was like, no, we're not sure where you're going, we don't even know anyone there. My dad was like, yeah, you want to go, you go and get that experience. And I love that. So he keeps talking about that, Dr. Peterson, just telling us to have this liberty and just have the freedom to do things that will get us out of our comfort zone. Because the moment you stay in your comfort zone, you are ruined completely. So if you're a parent watching this, if you're a teacher watching this, you have to let the students discover things on their own. You can't be the one always lecturing you. It's a lecture method. We really need to change this teaching methods. We are just standing and giving students notes. You are giving them knowledge, you're giving them everything. What do they have to do? Absolutely nothing. They'll just recall, and that's not how life is. They'll end up not knowing how to think critically or to be problem solvers and just be creative in everything that they're doing. So it is up to us. And you see many of these children who are very afraid of doing things because they've been super protected. That overprotection is not good. If you love watching movies and you watch these movies like zombies or the world is ending and there's a small group of people that has been left behind, what usually happens, those guys tend to fight out amongst themselves and they're like, we need to leave, we are running out of food and water, but going outside, the other group is telling them, no, they're going to be aliens and these zombies are there, they're going to kill us, they'll finish us. But the others are like, but if we stay here, we'll still die. You know, have you watched those movies? The most recent one I watched was the one for Leave the World Behind, and you see what happens there. I don't want to spoil the movie if you've not watched it, but these guys are in this particular house, but when things start going wrong, they decide to go, and at some point they meet something and they have to quickly come back. And so at some point they sort of lose hope. But there's this child of theirs who decides to do some exploration, and she's the person who ends up discovering other things that are going to help them out. Had she continued staying in her comfort zone, she wouldn't have done anything for herself and for her family. So yeah, if you love such movies, please go watch it. It's amazing. But it's not just in movies, it's what we are going through in real life. So if you watch many of these movies, you'll see like the group that goes out to look for something good. Yes, a few of them will get slain on the way, but there's a good number that will cross over to the other side and get help and get all the resources they need to come back and help, maybe the children and the elderly that they had left behind. And that is how our lives are. If you look at the Wheel of Fortitude, we have this comfort zone. And for you to move from the comfort zone to the growth zone, you have to walk a few steps. Once you leave the comfort zone, you get into the fear zone. Because yes, and I think that's an entire different episode. And from fear, we now go to the learning zone. Because you have to leave that. You will not learn if you are in your comfort zone. And then we finally move to the zone where there's actual growth taking place. And this is when now we talked about living your dreams, finding your purpose, achieving the goals that you have set. I'm assuming that we are now mid-January and you've already set your goals, right? So you need to achieve them, but you cannot achieve those if you're very comfortable. You will need to become uncomfortable. If you make your children's lives very comfortable, they have nothing to work towards. Schools are closed, so their work is just to watch TV and do absolutely nothing. No, you have a shop, let them go there and sell in that shop. You have a house, they need to clean, they need to, let's not make their lives so comfortable that they don't see discomfort. They don't know what to do when problems come. They have absolutely no idea what they're supposed to be doing at all. So this Wheel of Fortitude helps you visualize success. You've written down your goals, you have made your vision board, visualize it. Where do you want to go? You need to move from this place because you're very comfortable, but you have started harboring feelings of bitterness. You are jealous, you're working and you're seeing younger people who are just coming in, fresh graduates, all of a sudden they're being promoted, they're now your boss. You are going to school, you're seeing people who never used to beat you are now beating you in everything. Now you start seeing that this comfort zone is not as comfortable as you thought. You need to move ahead. So the question I want you to ask yourself is, what would happen if you don't do this? If you don't move out your comfort zone, what will happen? Don't ask yourself what will happen, because we know what will happen, but what will not happen? Usually the answer is, I don't know what you found, but for most people the answer is always nothing. What will happen if you don't do this? Nothing, absolutely nothing. And that's why I keep telling you, if you don't ask, the answer is always no, because you've already not asked, so it will not happen. But if you ask, then there's a chance. Could be 50-50, could be even higher, in your favor, that thing might happen. So when you want to try something, ask yourself that question: what will happen if I don't do this? Nothing. And we don't want nothing. So now we're coming towards the end. I'm going to give you 3 ways in which you can now get out of your comfort zone. And the first thing is surround yourself with people who are for you and not against you. People who are there to support your success. People who are growth oriented. These are the people I want you to surround yourself with. So, again, Dr. Jordan Peterson, in the third rule of life, he's written a book about the 12 rules of life. The third rule of life is surround yourself with like-minded people. And not to say that like-minded means that you're already down there, so you're looking for others who are down there with you. No. It's people who are already here with you or who are above you that you should be with. People who are there to support you. And they don't have to be even your family, because not every member of the family might always want the best for you, okay? So find those people. It might require you to now literally talk to those people you're scared of talking to. It might need you to go to networking events. Just meet people. Ask for someone's number that you know is somebody you look up to and get to emulate them. Involve, surround yourself with them. Get to see how they're living their lives, because they're not in their comfort zone. They left their comfort zone, or they've never even been there. How did they achieve it? It could require you to read more books. It will require you to attend, let's say, seminars, conferences, go to a certain place where you would literally be involved in a certain program so that you meet these people. It could be classes. Whatever it is, make sure you're surrounding yourself with such people. Second thing is acquire skills. I keep saying this all the time. I think now I sound like a broken record. Please learn new skills. Life is dynamic, and you should be dynamic as well. Keep learning. You can't be the same person you were 5 years ago. You can't. Learn something new, grow, meet new people, then they'll teach you new things. You go to places and you learn things, you're like, oh wow, I didn't know this. I keep learning these things. And whether you're an adult or a child, you keep learning. So acquire new skills. Might need you to pay somebody or buy a book or pay for a course, whatever it is. Acquire new skills. The moment you stop growing, that's when you start regressing. And recently I was just talking about this, and you see how people stay, especially like us teachers, you stay young throughout. Most teachers, if you look at it, teachers, they don't grow old. Why? Because they keep sharpening their minds every single time they're interacting with students. But the moment they retire and they've stopped keeping themselves busy, they start regressing, and within no time they're gone. Why? Because life has no purpose anymore. They're so comfortable. It's the same thing over and over again. So don't do that. Acquire new skills. And then the third way is to take those steps. Take those first few steps. And later on you'll realize, because the first step you're still like, no, nothing here is working. Take the second step, you're like, okay. The third step, you're like, okay, maybe this is not as bad as I thought it would be. And it's the same thing when you're trying new things. You've moved to a new town, and there's this event you want to go out and meet new people. You're looking for a new church, a new school, new everything. There's always that fear of should I go? I'm comfortable where I am. I'm fine. I don't need that. They'll probably just disappoint me. Take those first steps, okay? You want to start this business, but it's been in your head for the last 5 years. Take the first step. You want to learn something. For the longest time you said, I want to learn German, I want to learn French, I want to learn Japanese, whatever it is. You won't learn if you're not taking the first step. Enroll in a course, watch some videos, download Duolingo, just take those first steps in whatever it is in your life. You want to meet, anyone, you have to take that first step to go and say, hello, hi, my name is Zipporah, and I am the host of Zippy's Classroom, and just take that first step. Get to know. And what will the other person do? What will happen if you don't do it? Nothing again. So take those first steps. However, I have to say there is a disclaimer because there'll be obstacles. You might make the first step and end up in a hole. That one has happened, and you need to embrace failure. Life is full of such disappointments, and if you go through life thinking that you will not fail, if you go through life thinking that everything will do very well, and it goes back to our parents and teachers. If you keep showing children that everything they do is right, if you give tests, everybody, you made a test so simple, everybody has passed. Everybody's number one. Everybody, this person grows up feeling that, no, I'm the best. Life will never disappoint me. And then they get into the real world and then they find failure. And because they've not been taught to embrace failure throughout their life, they find it really difficult. They end up getting depressed, and you've seen really nasty cases. So we don't want that. Get to know yourself if you're the one going through this. Like, obstacles will be there. Hurdles are there in life. You have to jump over them, otherwise you won't get to the other side. If these people are trying, to fight the zombie army, I don't know, I keep going back to that example, but yeah, if they keep telling themselves, take one step, and they see one and they run back, it's not going to work. So what I need you to do, if you meet an obstacle, when you take a step back, don't go and sit down. Reflect, what could I have done wrong? Just think. And then re-strategize. Okay? You reflected, you've seen where you went wrong, now re-strategize, and then take again now another step and move on. Because you said we visualize our success, we know where we're going, but we have to embrace failure. If it comes, we will reflect, re-strategize, and move on with the steps I've just given you. Yeah, and if you like this, please give me a thumbs up. Okay, please comment. Honestly, you don't even have to say something profound. Like, no, just say hi. Just let me know who you are, where you're watching from. I've seen a large part of our audience comes from different countries of the world. Just, yeah, say hi, let me know where you come from, and share this video. Follow me on Instagram and on TikTok at Zippy's Classroom, and I love to engage with you. Let me know where you feel you need more clarification. If you still need me to do another part of this video, just explain better, and let me know your own personal experiences. And I hope that this has been a lesson that you won't forget. Bye bye.